In the lush, verdant landscape of Eden, the descendants of Adam and Eve multiplied and flourished, cultivating the land and filling it with their presence. Among them were two brothers, Cain and Ebel, whose lives would come to signify a profound lesson in faith, obedience, and the nature of sacrifice. Cain, the elder, was a farmer. His fields spread wide, filled with golden wheat that danced in the breeze. He toiled from dawn to dusk, his hands calloused from the work, yet he was proud of the bounty he could produce from the earth. Ebel, the younger, was a shepherd. He tended to his flock with gentleness and care, leading them to lush pastures and clear waters. His sheep thrived under his watchful eye, and he often marveled at the beauty of God's creations. The time came for the brothers to present their offerings to the Lord. Cain, confident in his labor and the fruits it bore, gathered the best of his harvest. He selected the ripest fruits and the finest grains, arranging them meticulously upon the altar. Ebel, with equal reverence, chose the firstborn of his flock, a lamb without blemish, and laid it upon the altar, its purity a symbol of his devotion. As the smoke of their offerings rose to the heavens, the Lord looked upon the sacrifices of Cain and Ebel. Ebel's offering, given with a heart full of faith and humility, was received with favor. The Lord's presence shone brightly upon him, and Ebel felt an overwhelming peace and joy. Cain, however, saw his offering consumed with less fervor. The Lord, in his wisdom, saw the pride and self-reliance in Cain's heart and withheld his full favor. Jealousy and anger began to fester within Cain. He could not understand why his hard work was not equally rewarded. The bitterness grew, gnawing at his soul, and he could no longer hide his resentment. One day, as they walked together in the fields, Cain's anger boiled over. He turned on his brother, his words sharp and filled with venom. "Why does the Lord favor you, Ebel? Why is my labor not enough?" Cain's voice trembled with a mix of sorrow and rage. Ebel, with calmness and compassion, tried to soothe his brother's heart. "The Lord desires our hearts, Cain. It is not the offering itself, but the spirit in which it is given. Have faith and seek his guidance." But Cain's fury could not be abated. In a moment of blind rage, he struck Ebel down, his jealousy driving him to commit a grievous sin. As Ebel's lifeless body lay upon the ground, Cain was seized by a profound horror at what he had done. The earth itself seemed to cry out, mourning the loss of Ebel. The Lord's voice thundered through Cain's mind, piercing his soul. "Where is your brother Ebel?" The question echoed with a divine authority, demanding the truth. "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" Cain replied, his voice trembling with fear and guilt. The Lord's sorrow was palpable. "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield to you its strength. You will be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth." Cain, realizing the full weight of his sin, fell to his knees, overwhelmed with despair. "My punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." But the Lord, in his mercy, placed a mark upon Cain to protect him, ensuring that he would not be killed by those who might seek vengeance. Cain's life became a testament to the consequences of jealousy and pride, and a reminder of God's justice tempered with mercy. Cain wandered the earth, a restless soul, forever marked by his actions. Yet in his solitude, he sought to understand the depths of his sin and the nature of true sacrifice. He became a figure of legend, a living cautionary tale passed down through generations. Ebel's memory, meanwhile, was cherished among the descendants of Adam and Eve. His story became a beacon of faith and devotion, a reminder of the purity of heart that God desires. The fields and flocks of Eden continued to thrive, and the people learned to offer their sacrifices with hearts full of humility and reverence, seeking always to walk in the favor of the Lord.